வணக்கம். இது ஸ்டோரிஸ் வித் செல்வி. உங்களுடன் தாமரை செல்வி.
வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கேட்க போறது சஸ்பென்ஸ் நிறைஞ்ச ஒரு இங்கிலீஷ் த்ரில்லர், Havoc Says Hi. வாங்க கதைக்குள்ள போகலாம்.
Chapter 39. Election Issue. I looked at the closed doors of the storeroom and the boy standing in front of me. Either of it made any sense to me. It was just a human reaction to do something which made them sad, and to react in aggressive manner towards the ones who caused it. These boys sure didn't seem happy with me. They couldn't be, as I was the guy who stopped their dream of pocketing students' money and harassing other girls during symposiums, which was the only objective they had. They didn't deserve to be in the election, but they were. I could bear anything they said about her in the name of election canvassing as an election committee member, but I couldn't sit in a place where her character was falsely accused of things she never did. I could have acted in impulse at that moment. It was easy. It would just damage her reputation, which I could not allow. So I did the next best thing, which will shut them down. I talked to the members and cancelled the application by Rajiv and his friends. So now they wanted revenge. It was a wild situation. They wanted to have a talk with me. That was what they said. Even after knowing they were not here for talking, it was crazy of me to accept the invitation. I liked the hostility surrounding me. 5 against 1. They sized themselves with the trolls. Even a fool could predict the outcome. But I really wanted to be here, so I was here. Rajiv, who stood for treasurer post, came near me and placed his hands over my shoulder and said, "Guys, what can we do to him? He wanted to play with the prey before the kill. He was the boss of the crew and he wanted to show off." "Hit him in the face, da," another one said. That should be one of his minions. I didn't like to remember some scumbag's name. It would be waste of my time and memory. I still didn't plan to fight, and moreover, fight was not in my blood. Rajiv caught hold of my shirt and with his other hand punched me in my face, just an inch away from my right eye. I expected it, but didn't anticipate stopping it. I was not able to balance my weight, so I caught hold of a marble table to balance myself. And the next was a kick targeted to my stomach. There was pain. I was not able to open my right eye, and my stomach was hurting. This was a one-time chance to experience fear and pain. I concentrated on the area of pain. My body began to shiver. Every second intensified it until it reached a level it was nowhere. Pain was just in the mind. Now the third one, who got overexcited by the action happening around, took a nearby glass plate and hit me on my back, as he understood at the last minute that hitting in head might kill me. Everyone got back by this action because of fear, but soon recovered, seeing me still moving, and luckily he didn't hit hard. The next punch was to my head, and that could be the final punch I would get connected with it. I closed my eyes for a nanosecond and felt myself present and my ego. I was there in my subconscious. I had to save myself. I had to be fully aware. The guy near me raised me up for Rajiv to give me a final blow, but the punch was from the other side. I could sense every muscle in my body as well as his. I punched him in the chest. This stopped his voice and there was no blood. And the other guys came at me. It was like I knew where they would move. I could anticipate every single move they made. Just brainless animals. I took the nearby metal stool and hit it on the one of the guy's leg. He slipped because of the loss of balance, which I took it a call for a kick and kicked him in his face. That was a nasty one. I wanted him to have it, for he was the one who hit me with the glass. Others were shocked at what was happening. They took a stool for themselves and tried to throw them at me. I came at them fast and fell over them and moved to the back of them. And I was tired of all this, so I hit one of them in his neck and punched his nose. He began to bleed. The fight was over the moment they saw blood. We both knew who the winner was. The guys who were strong enough to stand picked up the others and hurried from the room as fast as they could. I sat in the middle of the room. I knew the consequences of this, but I would take it for her. I was happy that Ritu would not be blamed for anything that happened today. I was sitting in the same study room where my grandpa used to teach me all the things about human mind and how it worked. Now the situation changed. He was sitting in his antique chair facing myself, and I looked at his face. He was not angry on me. He might have disappointed by me. A boy whom he wanted to become great had shattered all his hopes by getting suspended from college. Even my dad didn't get angry over me after hearing the whole story. He found the importance of being genuine, but Grandpa thought only about the things he wanted for me and the greaterhood which he always talked about. Even I was like that before a few days, but now I could not. Why did you fight? Grandpa asked. His voice was deep. There was no other option. I answered abruptly, not giving space for loose words. First of all, why enter into this issue? I had to. They were doing negative canvassing over a candidate, and that was bad. I avoided saying her name. We know the world is bad, but why did you care for that one person? Now I knew. I lost it. He found my interest on her. I didn't have to hide it anymore. I like her, that's why. Now my answer was stern as my face turned stony. Okay, that's fair enough. Don't come here again, he said and began to rock the chair. I knew what would happen because of my actions, but I just hoped he would accept it for my sake. I was not shocked. This was expected. He used to say love was just a sharing of needs, nothing more than two handicapped minds trying to patch up themselves. Every word I believed, but now I didn't think I could. Thank you, Grandpa, I said with as much gratefulness. My voice didn't have sadness. It was like a rule which would bend for no one. I had to bend it, and it had to be paid back with my actions. My devastation didn't show up in my face, but it was deep down drilling into my very soul. I walked away from the house, which once was a booth bungalow and then a school of wisdom, and now a place where I would never return to. The same place, same corner, every single day. It never bored me. To tell the truth, I began to like Coffee Day better than my home. It had been nearly 3 months since we became regular customers to Coffee Day. Our relationship was walking through a thin line between friendship and love. We both knew it, but we were not ready to accept it. Don't fiddle with your ring. It's annoying. I shouted at her, trying to take her ring from her. She looked up with her ring in hand and smiled at me. She kept playing with her ring. I really hated this action of hers, but she loved irritating me, so she kept on doing it whenever we met. She bunked most of her evening coaching classes so that I could meet her up at our favorite hangout and spend some more time for ourselves. That day was not something special for both of us until she spoke a few words which stirred my heart. Why do we meet every day? She asked while sipping her coffee without looking at me. I don't know. I'm jobless and you're bored maybe. I chuckled. I'm not bored. I won't come tomorrow then. She faked an anger in her eyes and looked right through my eyes. I was just kidding. I want to talk to you every day. That's why. I was mesmerized by her hair, which flew in the air. I just prayed she didn't ask me, why is that? And fortunately, she didn't. But something amazing happened instead. She leaned over my hand and slightly put her head at rest on my arm. With her eyes closed, she was cute like a baby. Her hair was on her face. I pushed her hair from face, and she opened her eyes and looked at me. Do you like me? She asked me with an adorable voice. Her voice would even make a blind person say the owner of his voice must be the queen of all the beauties. But how would he know her heart was also made of gold? I do, I smiled. But you don't know anything about me. You need to know about me before anything serious happens, I continued as my eyes began to move towards the nearby TV, trying to avoid her eyes. She was quiet, but her eyes didn't rest chasing mine and finally looked into hers. I really don't know what I am. I was brought up from my young age till I met you with only one objective in life, to become the person who could change this world. I was feeling a bit scared telling my secrets to her. What if this became the reason for her to hate me? I looked at her face for any change in reactions, but she didn't show any. She was just concentrating on what I was saying. In simple words, I can read minds. I finally made words come outside my throat. What? She said with a laugh. Are you joking now? So you can say what I think now, huh? She asked, suppressing a giggle. I knew she wouldn't take me serious, but I had to try. I don't know. It never worked on you. The moment I met you, I forgot how to do it. And when you left me, it gets back to me, I said. She now had a smile in her face. This is not like in the movies. Mind is not a book to read. One has to understand how his mind works to analyze someone else's mind, I said firmly. I looked around to see if there was a way to prove her what I had just said. I searched for the perfect specimens and there it was. I looked at a couple sitting opposite to each other and having their coffee. See that couple? I pointed my eyes towards the couple. I continued. That guy is continuously laughing and talking. while that girl looks disinterested. And look at that girl, she is sitting at the edge of her seat. I paused for a second for Ritu to observe. What do you understand from it? I asked. They are not lovers. Most probably it's their first date. This is simple. Sweet. She twinkled, her eyes giving me a smile. Is this mind reading? She mocked me. I smiled back at her. Yes, for you're right in saying that, and no for answering your question. She is disinterested and it is their first date. But what looks subtle is reality. I came forward to the table and began to play with the tissue paper and spoke. She accepted to come for the first date with him. And that means she had a little hope that this guy won't be an ass. But she is not even giving him a slightest chance. She is silent almost all the time. I continued. She looks a bit upset, but well dressed with perfect makeup. It might be because of her parents, and that too because her mom might have scolded her while starting from home or due to some incident which happened in between her starting from her house and meeting this guy. Ritu began to listen to me very consciously. If that guy stopped blabbering and just say, I paused and then continued. Don't worry, everything will be alright. Then it would have made an impact in her, getting her interest back on him, but now this is going nowhere. Her eyes were wide. Her eyes told what she really wanted to tell me. Don't tell me this is some kind of Sherlock Holmes tricks. I responded before she spoke anything. This is not a trick. This is what everyone sees but fails to perceive. My voice began to exert a bit of frustration in the middle. I listened carefully to every second of a minute like a hound trying to snatch its prey, finding a way to change how people think. That's me. That's what my grandpa wants me to be. Is it painful? Is your grandpa bad? Why does he want you to do all these? She asked silently, but there was concern in her tone. Yeah, it is painful at times. About grandpa? I don't think so. He's a great man. We never question grandpa. He always says it is for the greater good, for the welfare of the greater population. I said with a sad smile. Do you really want to be what he wants? Her voice was low. No, I don't. Maybe before I met you, I would have wanted to, but now I want to be with you. I took her hands in mine and I kept it over my chest. This is a tune which can be heard only between us and only when we were near each other. I just wanted to know if you can hear it too. She hugged me, ignoring the crowd which began to build inside the coffee day. I felt 2 cold drops on my chest. I knew it. It was her tears. I love you, she said as her sound got muffled by my shirt. It was the first time she said it to me. She slapped me hard on my chest. Ah, what? I howled. You made me tell it, she cried, but her smile was prominent. I brought her face close and kissed on her forehead and let her rest on my chest for what seemed like eternity. Never go back, Vijay. We can lead a normal life without this intervention. No mind reading or analyzing other girls, she said. Why did you like me? I asked the question which I asked myself every single day. She was silent and then she spoke. Your eyes had something which I had not seen in anyone else. It had pain and a kindness. I didn't know my mother, but when I saw you, I felt like she was with me. I knew there was something happening inside you which you didn't share with anyone. I just wanted to make you happy. She cried, and I understood how much I meant for her then and how much she was for me. I just said, I love you. I will not go back. A strange fulfillment throughout my heart. I was happy, sad, and I was everything I always wanted. I was in debt with her for making me feel that way. We were in love, first time, without restrictions. Blindfolded with love, I missed to notice Eshwar, who was standing behind my chair throughout. He walked out of coffee day in silence.
இந்த பதிவு உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா மறக்காம லைக் பண்ணுங்க, ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க. என்னோட பதிவுகளை உடனுக்குடனே தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்காக பெல் பட்டனையும் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க. மீண்டும் அடுத்த அத்தியாயத்தில் சந்திப்போம். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.